A convicted human trafficker is being deported from the UK for a third time in less than 2 years. Let that sink in. A convicted human trafficker is being deported from the UK for the third time in less than 2 years. So a man who trades in people's lives, which is probably the worst kind of human being there is, has managed to come to Britain, be kicked out, come back to Britain to be kicked out, and then come back again. Does anyone want to take a bet with me about how long it'll be before he's back once more? A few weeks? But as if his current job as a human trafficker wasn't bad enough, it does actually get a lot worse. Albanian Hazir Lala has a criminal record as long as your arm. In April 2016, he was convicted of multiple driving offences and the possession of false ID documents. He was disqualified from driving for 15 months and jailed for 6. He was arrested again in the UK on the 4th of September 2019 for organised immigration crime offences committed in Belgium. He was extradited to Belgium in early 2020, where he was convicted of human trafficking and participating in a criminal organisation. Lala was given a 5-year prison sentence, which was partially suspended. He was also ordered to pay a fine of €102,000, which presumably he had no trouble doing. He was arrested again under the Immigration Act on the 20th of February last year for overstaying. Then another deportation order was signed on the 7th of April 2020, and he was removed and sent back to Albania on the 19th of August 2020. We are, as a nation, well and truly there for the taking, aren't we? This guy has made a mockery of our border security. In fact, he's made a living recently out of exploiting how pathetic our border security is. Hazir Lala is the prime example of the fact that we urgently need to up our game when it comes to our borders. It's the epitome of the national security argument, isn't it? By definition, it's very hard to calculate exactly how many illegal immigrants there are in the UK, but estimates put it at between 800,000 and 1.5 million. How many of these people have a criminal past like Hazir Lala? How many of these people work in illegal industries? How many of these people, would you argue, are good for Britain? And this is also why language is so important. Classing every single person who comes over the channel as an asylum seeker, for example, is both factually incorrect and also actively damaging, because it shuts down debate about whether or not some of these people may have the potential to pose a threat to our national security. Classing every single illegal immigrant as some kind of refugee fleeing war is, again, factually incorrect and shuts down a very necessary discussion on our national security. These arguments are all too often put forward by people living in well-to-do areas like Kingston-upon-Thames, who, frankly, would never bump into someone like Hazir Lala, let alone have to live next door to him. The time will come when we have so many of these people in this country that it does eventually start to affect the lives of the very privileged. And that's when, finally, we'll see some action on this. But I don't want to wait until then. There will be thousands of Hazir Lalas in Britain right now. We don't need any more. We need to toughen up and tighten our borders immediately. If we don't do that, then it's nothing short of a massive act of national self-harm.